Regular viewers of our program may remember a few months ago we had a guest on by the name of Alani, and she spoke to us about the very sensitive and personal topic of incest. She's joined us right now to catch us up on some of the things that she's been doing and to once again share a little bit of her story with us. So Alani, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
And because I don't want us to run out of time, I would, if you don't mind, like for you to start reading an excerpt from your book. Okay.
I'll be happy to do that. The first thing I'll do is, it's the purpose of the book. In a number of ways, I aim to expose the darkness and silence of the life-altering traumatic world of incest. The effects and manifestations played out on victims, whether current victims, excuse me, or as I define them, surviving victims, can indeed be devastating, not to mention the perpetrators, whether current or former, and all respective spouses, if married, can also have issues of their own to work through. We are all touched by incest, whether or not we are the victims. To demonstrate this point, think about the people at your church or the people on your job or the people you encounter in the general public whom you may describe as cold, short-tempered, manipulative, and controlling, or unable to interact well with others or maintain relationships. Depending on what statistics you read, the range is wide for the number of people who suffer from incest as children, many of whom have not learned appropriate coping skills that are required for a healthy adult. It's entirely possible that these individuals with whom you have interacted have been victims of incest in their childhood. These are your choir members and fellow congregants, your company executives and business owners, your supervisors and co-workers, your department store cashiers and restaurant hosts and hostesses. These are your ashamed sisters and brothers, your broken-hearted aunts and cousins, your confused pastors and deacons. These are your friends and your acquaintances. And through this project, there are several ways in which I'd like to offer encouragement. The first is to the victims of incestuous abuse who were robbed of their innocence. The second is perpetrators who preyed on these young, pure at heart children who have to live with the guilt and decision they made to take something that was not theirs to take. Third would be the spouses of those who have been molested, who must understand and help their victimized spouse, who may still be living with the manifestations of their experience, and also the spouses of the perpetrators who have to live with the knowledge that their husband or wife took advantage of an innocent and helpless child in the family. That's just an excerpt, not the whole part.
So tell us about the event you recently had.
Yes, on January 22nd, I actually held a supporter event. There was an article that was written in the local Middletown Transcript, and I had a couple of people that read the article that came out to attend, and it was primarily for friends and family, and I wanted to share with them ideas on what I had to help them help me get the word out about the book. I also talked about Guard Your Heart, which is the nonprofit organization that was created by Alani, which is designed to reach out to individuals 18 and older that have been affected by incest, whether as a victim, perpetrator, or spouse of a victim or perpetrator, and gave them kind of a general overview of that. I gave them also an overview of Alani, and Alani again stands for Advocating Liberation and Non-Oppression in Incest. And then this piece about how people can help me to spread the word about the book.
Tell me how that evening went. What was the feedback that you received? Were there people who were actually, that had been victims there that evening, or was it just people? I'm actually like.
Ironically, what I learned that there were some of my family members whom I didn't know previously that had actually been affected by others in our family. As far as the other friends that came, there's always somebody who knows somebody that it's happened to, so yeah, there were.
So what are the next steps for you?
The next steps, my book actually is, the publisher is Legacy Book Publishing, and they're down out of Florida. They are going to be producing a paperbound and an ebook, and I've actually had a request to have the book translated in Spanish. So depending on what the demand is for that, we'll be able to make that available through Legacy Publishing. I'm also looking at having an audio book done, not through Legacy, but more local. And if your listeners know of a good place that I could have that done, I'm looking for assistance there. The one thing I do also want to share is about a proclamation that I'd been trying to have worked out through the governor's office, and I have recently found out that that request was denied because there is a sexual awareness month that is recognized in April. So they were not able to honor my request of an Incest Awareness Day. But what I'm going to do with that is work locally and see if I'm able to start there first, and then perhaps in years to come branch that up to the state.
How has all of this work helped your healing?
I like to think that I am all cried out about my situation, and I can say that over the last 3 to 4 years I have become so much more comfortable in sharing my story with people, and ironically I have had people to share their story with me who they've said they otherwise would not have communicated. You know, any opportunity that I have, if I'm in the Walmart or the Joann's Fabrics or wherever I happen to be, and an opportunity is there for me to talk about it, I do. I carry my cards and just pass them along. In terms of helping my healing, I think just getting to the place of being more comfortable in sharing my story is what's helped me.
One of the components of your book and of your story that I think is, I don't even know what adjective to use, but surprising perhaps to people, is the perpetrator aspect.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you do that?
Well, it's very interesting. I believe that while a perpetrator who does a crime, they do have to do the time. There's no question about that. But I do believe wholeheartedly that in many cases there are perpetrators who were once victims themselves and never really had the opportunity to kind of figure out what to do with their anger, with their frustration, etc. And so I believe that they need help to recognize and overcome, and that's part of the platform of Alani, is to hold those of us who are affected, whether as a victim, perpetrator, or spouse of victims and perpetrators, to take responsibility for their healing and for their overcoming, because it is achievable. It's a matter of making a decision and making a choice to do it, and so that's why.
We only have about 2 minutes left, but I did want to let you make sure that you say whatever it is. What else did you want to cover?
Yeah, there's just one couple very important things in terms of how people might help me to get the word out about the book. One of the really amazing things is just going to your local library, whether it is here in Delaware, if you have family in California, Florida, wherever, just have them go to the local library and start now to request the book. The book title is A Family Secret Revealed, More Than a Story by Alani, and that will help raise the interest in the book. So that's one thing. I am looking at trying to go out and do speaking engagements. If folks know of an organization or a group that may be interested in having someone to come out and speak on the topic, that would also be helpful. I've actually looked at some of the national associations for speaking bureaus, and ironically there is no one represented that actually speaks on the topic. And so in order to get to a place where I can even be included there, I have to do so many local speaking engagements. So maybe bookstores or people that know about book clubs perhaps, and that information can be sent to me by email.
Have you gone to the Tri-State bookstore in the mall? There's a bookstore in the Tri-State mall that Michael and I frequent.
I have not been there, but I will make it my business.
We will definitely mention it the next time we're there.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I want to hold this up, and I want to allow people the chance to find out how they can help. Well, where they, like, do you have a website or phone number?
The website is right here as we're rolling it out. AlaniArtist.com is the website, and you can send an email to author@alaniartist.com. One other quick thing I want to mention is that I've recently started a radio show, a commentary show on Blog Talk Radio, and it airs the second and fourth Wednesdays actually at 2:00 p.m. every month. And I do have some archives, and the next show is scheduled for this coming Wednesday.
And so what website is that? Can they find that?
No, they need to go to blogtalkradio.com
Okay.
/Alani Artist.
Okay.